There is a power that lives quietly within you, a power that does not need applause, that does not seek permission. It whispers in the stillness of your mind and moves in the shadows of your effort. And yet, so many of us rush to tell the world what we do, hoping for recognition, hoping for understanding, hoping for approval. But listen closely. True greatness does not announce itself. It builds, it grows, and when it rises, it cannot be ignored. Today, I invite you to step into that quiet strength, to hold your purpose close, and to discover the extraordinary power of doing without telling. There is a power that lives quietly within you, a power that does not need applause, that does not seek permission. It whispers in the stillness of your mind and moves in the shadows of your effort. And yet so many of us rush to tell the world what we do, hoping for recognition, hoping for understanding, hoping for approval. But listen closely. True greatness does not announce itself. It builds, it grows, and when it rises, it cannot be ignored. The strongest trees in the forest do not boast about their height. They simply stand, resilient, letting the wind and sun mark their journey. So too, your power is quiet, waiting to be felt through the weight of your actions, not the volume of your words. Too often we underestimate the magic of silence. We fear that if we do not speak of our dreams, they will fade into nothingness. But dreams are not fragile. They are seeds, waiting for the right soil, waiting for quiet water, waiting for the patience that only unseen hands can give. When you hold your purpose close, when you nurture it privately, you shield it from doubt, from distraction, and from those who would diminish its worth before it has even taken root. There is wisdom in keeping your ambitions to yourself, for the world is filled with ears that hear to judge rather than to understand. The quiet ones are not empty. They are full, brimming with unseen preparation, and their strength is measured in the depth of their resolve. When we choose to act without announcing, we learn the language of authenticity. Every step taken in silence carries weight because it is driven not by expectation, but by conviction. Actions rooted in humility and purpose create ripples far wider than words ever could. Think of the artists who painted masterpieces in hidden rooms, the writers who poured their souls onto pages no one would see for years, the leaders who labored tirelessly in obscurity before the world acknowledged their impact. Their silence was not weakness, it was strategy, a deliberate cultivation of power that could not be borrowed or stolen. To speak less and do more is to reclaim your energy, to protect the sacredness of your journey. Every word we release carries a piece of our spirit, and not every listener is deserving of it. When you speak less about your work, you allow your results to speak for you, and the world listens differently when it witnesses what you have built rather than what you have promised. There is a beauty, a dignity, in letting life unfold without commentary, in letting your actions be your testimony. Those who are meant to notice will see, those who are meant to be inspired will feel, and those who are not will simply fade into irrelevance. So remember this: power lies in silence, strength is quiet, greatness does not need to advertise itself. Protect your dreams, honor your process, and trust that what is meant to rise will rise. Whether the world watches or not, your legacy is not in the telling, it is in the living. Carry your purpose with grace, act with intention, and let the stillness of your resolve illuminate the path not only for yourself, but for everyone who dares to follow. In silence, there is power. In quiet, there is victory. And in your unseen labor, there is the promise of something extraordinary. Our dreams are not casual whispers meant for the ears of everyone we meet. They are sacred treasures, fragile and brilliant, waiting for the care only you can provide. To share them indiscriminately is to scatter your strength, to expose what is precious to hands that may not honor it. There is a difference between inviting others into your vision and offering it to the world before it is ready. Dreams, like rare jewels, must be protected, polished, and understood by the one who holds them before they are shown to anyone else. The world is eager to take what it does not create, to diminish what it does not nurture, and so you must be the guardian of your own destiny. The act of guarding your dreams is not selfish, it is an act of respect. Respect for yourself, for your journey, and for the life you are building. When you hold your aspirations close, you give them room to grow without interruption or doubt. You allow yourself the freedom to experiment, to fail, and to rise again without the burden of expectation. Not every ear deserves to hear your plans, and not every mouth deserves the chance to speak over your vision. The ones who truly belong on your path will recognize your purpose when the time is right, and they will not demand explanations or rush disclosures. There is courage in keeping your dreams private. It is a courage that requires patience and faith, a steadfast belief that what you nurture in secret will bloom when the moment is right. In a world that prizes attention and immediate validation, the discipline to stay quiet, to protect your vision, becomes revolutionary. You begin to understand that the energy spent defending your dreams in conversation is better spent crafting them in silence. The work you do unseen is the foundation upon which all success is built. Each step, each decision, each late night of effort is a brick in the temple of your future, invisible to others yet unshakable in its strength. When you guard your dreams, you are also shielding them from the fear and doubt of others. Not every voice is kind, and some are quick to tell you what is possible or impossible based on their own limitations. By holding your goals close, you prevent their skepticism from seeping into your resolve. You protect the fragile flame of your ambition from winds that would snuff it out before it has the chance to light the world. And when the time comes for your dreams to emerge, they will do so with the force of years of quiet tending, with a brilliance that cannot be ignored or denied. To guard your dreams is to honor the life you imagine, to respect the value of what only you can create. It is to walk with intention, carrying a vision that is too precious to share lightly. Let your work, your dedication, and your results speak louder than explanations ever could. Protect your dreams as you would protect your own heart, for within them lies the map to the life you were born to live. In this quiet vigilance, you discover the true power of your purpose, the kind that cannot be stolen, cannot be copied, and cannot be diminished. Hold them close, tend to them diligently, and watch as they grow into something magnificent. There is a currency in this world more valuable than gold, more vital than fame, and that is the energy of your spirit. Every thought you speak, every word you share, every emotion you give away carries a piece of this energy. When you scatter it carelessly, when you announce your intentions before they are ready, you risk giving away the very force that drives your journey. Not all ears deserve to hear your plans, and not all hearts are capable, not all ears are kind, and not all voices are meant to guide you. Some will hear your intentions and see them through the lens of fear, doubt, or limitation. They will judge before they understand, criticize before they see, and advise before they listen. It is tempting to seek their approval, to hope for their encouragement, to believe that their recognition validates your worth. But the truth is, the opinions of others are rarely a reflection of your potential. They are a mirror of their own fears, insecurities, and experiences. To carry the weight of such judgments is to burden yourself with something that does not belong to you. Every time you allow the judgment of another to influence your path, you dilute the strength of your own voice. You begin to measure your worth not by your efforts or your vision, but by the ever-shifting perceptions of those around you. This is a dangerous trap, for the world is full of well-meaning yet short-sighted perspectives that cannot grasp the depth of your dreams. Protect yourself from the constant chatter of opinion and instead turn inward. Seek counsel from the quiet wisdom of your own heart, from the steady pulse of your purpose, from the truths that are yours alone. Beware of the voices that speak before knowing, for they can derail more than just confidence. They can slow progress, cloud judgment, and sow unnecessary doubt. The ones who truly belong on your journey will walk beside you in understanding, not in judgment. They will offer insight, not imposition. They will listen, and then, if invited, speak with care and intention. Recognizing the difference between guidance and interference is an essential skill in the pursuit of greatness. Not every opinion is worthy of a response, and not every critique deserves a place in the quiet chambers of your resolve. To rise above the noise, you must cultivate discernment. Listen to what nourishes you, and let the rest fade into the background. Opinions are abundant, but your energy is finite. Each word you give attention to has the power to shape your thoughts, your feelings, and ultimately your actions. By choosing carefully which voices to allow into your inner world, you protect the integrity of your journey. You honor the work that only you can do, and you preserve the clarity of purpose that will guide you through uncertainty and challenge. The greatest leaders, creators, and visionaries have all learned this lesson. The world will always have something to say, and most of it will not matter. What matters is the quiet faith in yourself, the unwavering belief in your vision, and the resilience to continue even when others cannot see the path as you do. When you resist the pull of external judgment, when you guard your heart from unnecessary critique, you free yourself to grow, to create, and to shine on your own terms. Opinions will come, but the life you are building belongs only to you. Walk your path with courage, listen selectively, and let the world watch as your actions speak louder than any words ever could, of holding the weight of your dreams without judgment or interference. Protecting your energy is not pride, it is wisdom. It is the acknowledgement that what fuels your life is sacred, and that once spent on the wrong soil, it can never be fully regained. The act of conserving your energy requires courage, for the world tempts you with the illusion that being seen is being successful. But visibility without action is empty, and words without follow through are weightless. True power is found in directing your energy where it matters, in work, in growth, in creating quietly, consistently, and deliberately. Every hour spent explaining yourself, defending your choices, or anticipating the doubts of others is an hour stolen from the labor of becoming who you are meant to be. By guarding your energy, you choose to invest in the life that is forming beneath your hands, rather than surrendering it to forces that neither understand nor appreciate your purpose. Energy is a river within you, and like all rivers, it must flow uninterrupted to nourish the land it touches. When you speak prematurely, when you share before you are ready, you allow the river to be diverted, diluted, or blocked by outside forces. Others may attempt to impose their own expectations upon you, to sway your path, or to question the worth of your efforts. By remaining silent about your work, you keep your current strong and steady, and you allow it to carve the course you have chosen without interference. You learn that the more you guard your energy, the more potent your actions become, for energy focused is energy multiplied. To recognize the preciousness of your energy is also to honor your time and your presence in the world. Each encounter, each conversation, each commitment demands a portion of your vitality. Choose carefully where you invest it. Speak only when it serves creation, when it builds rather than diminishes, when it lifts rather than drains. The whispers of doubt from others are not yours to carry, and their need to control your path is not your burden to bear. By protecting your energy, you are not hiding. You are preserving the force that will allow your dreams to rise, unshakable and true when the moment is right. Energy is life, and life is fragile in its intensity. Treat it with reverence, handle it with care, and use it to craft a world that reflects your highest self. Do not give it away in haste. Do not expend it to please ears that will not listen or hearts that will not understand. Let your power, your brilliance, your life's work be sustained by the quiet, deliberate protection of your inner force. In this sacred vigilance, you will find that the energy you save is the energy that propels you forward, unrelenting, unstoppable, and luminous. There is a quiet triumph in letting your results speak for themselves, in allowing your actions to weave the story that words could never fully capture. Too often, we feel compelled to explain, to justify, to announce what we are doing, as if validation could be demanded rather than earned. But the truth is, the world listens differently when it sees the evidence of your effort. Achievements carry a weight that explanations cannot match, a resonance that lingers long after the words have faded. Let your work, your dedication, and your perseverance become the language through which your life tells its story. When you stop explaining and begin producing, you discover a freedom previously unknown. The need to be understood, to be praised, or to be acknowledged loses its grip on your spirit. You no longer expend energy defending your vision or convincing others of your worth because the proof of your labor stands firmly before their eyes. Results do not lie. They do not waver in opinion or falter in perception. They are the purest reflection of your courage, your commitment, and your relentless pursuit of purpose. There is a dignity in this form of expression, a beauty in the way accomplishments speak louder than any declaration ever could. Allowing your results to shine is also an act of patience. Greatness rarely announces itself overnight, and mastery is rarely achieved without unseen effort. The late nights, the small steps, the quiet persistence, these are the pieces of the puzzle that build the whole picture. And when the world finally witnesses the culmination of your work, there is a power in its quiet revelation. People are drawn not to the words that promised, but to the proof that fulfilled. Your silence in the process amplifies the impact of your outcome, and your actions, finally revealed, inspire far more than any explanation could. There is a lesson in restraint here, for the more we rush to explain, the more we dilute the impact of our achievements. By holding our intentions close and letting our work grow in secret, we create a moment of revelation that carries weight, significance, and authority. The world cannot dispute results, cannot reinterpret truth when it is presented in action, and cannot diminish a success that stands visible and undeniable. This is the quiet justice of effort. The work you produce speaks on your behalf, honors your vision, and silences the need for constant justification. When results become your voice, you free yourself from comparison, criticism, and doubt. You no longer seek validation in conversation because validation arrives naturally through evidence. Others will watch, reflect, and recognize your value, not because you announced it, but because it exists tangibly, undeniably, in the life you have built. Let your achievements shine, not to boast, but to illuminate the power of dedication, the beauty of discipline, and the magic of persistence. In allowing your results to reveal your story, you create a legacy that cannot be ignored, cannot be stolen, and cannot be diminished. There is a magic in building quietly, in tending to your dreams without the eyes of the world upon them. To labor in secret is to give your vision the space it needs to take root, to grow strong, and to flourish without distraction or interference. The world will always be ready to question, to doubt, and to critique. But when you nurture your goals away from its gaze, you create a sanctuary for transformation. In this silence, you are free to experiment, to stumble, to learn, and to rise again with a wisdom only experience can teach. When you build in secret, you are not hiding, you are preparing. You are cultivating the strength, the skill, and the resilience that will carry you through the challenges that inevitably arise. The hours spent unseen, the small victories that go unnoticed, the late nights and early mornings, all of it is laying the foundation for a glory that cannot be diminished. What is created in patience and solitude has a power that cannot be replicated by words or announcements. It emerges fully formed, undeniable, and breathtaking in its presence. There is a dignity in this approach, a quiet authority that comes from knowing your worth and the value of your work. You do not need to seek validation from the applause of others because your fulfillment comes from the process itself, from the growth that happens behind the curtain. Every step taken in secrecy is a declaration of faith, faith in your ability, faith in your vision, and faith in the moment when your efforts will speak for themselves. And when that moment arrives, the unveiling is magnificent, for the world sees not just the result, but the power of the unseen labor that made it possible. To rise in glory after building in secret is to teach a profound lesson without speaking a single word. It is to show that true strength does not need to boast, that mastery is cultivated in patience, and that success achieved quietly carries a weight that public declarations can never match. Those who witness it cannot deny it, cannot question its legitimacy, and cannot diminish its brilliance. The impact of a well-prepared, fully realized creation is far greater than that of any promise or projection, for it arrives not as an idea, but as a living testament to perseverance and dedication. Building in secret also allows you to protect the purity of your vision. When others see too early, they may try to shape it, influence it, or measure it against their own expectations. By working privately, you ensure that what emerges is entirely yours, untainted by doubt, free from distraction, and perfectly aligned with the truth of your purpose. And when you finally rise, it is not merely a moment of personal triumph, it is a declaration to the world that patience, focus, and integrity are forces stronger than noise, skepticism, or comparison. To build quietly is to honor your journey, and to rise in glory is to show the world the beauty of what comes from unwavering devotion. It is easy to fall into the trap of comparison, to measure your worth by the success, possessions, or recognition of others. But each life is a river with its own current, each journey a path shaped by unique experiences, challenges, and timing. When you speak too much about what you do, when you announce your plans prematurely, you invite the world to compare, to judge, and sometimes to envy. Comparison is a thief of joy, a shadow that dims the light of your own accomplishments. By protecting your narrative and holding your efforts quietly, you free yourself from this trap, and you begin to move forward unencumbered by the shadows of others' achievements. Comparison does not honor growth, it distorts it. When we measure ourselves against others, we begin to doubt the pace of our progress, the validity of our choices, and the beauty of our unique journey. What is necessary is not the validation of others, but the recognition of your own courage, consistency, and integrity. Every step you take in quiet determination is a step that belongs to you alone, and its value cannot be diminished by the success of another. The work you are building, the life you are crafting, is yours to shape, and no one else's path can dictate its meaning or timing. Envy often follows comparison, and envy has the power to poison perspective. Those who see your journey prematurely may feel threatened, or you may begin to feel the pressure of expectations that are not your own. By speaking less and acting more, you allow your efforts to remain untouched by the corrosive influence of others' opinions or accomplishments. In silence, your confidence grows stronger because it is built on evidence of your own persistence rather than external markers. Quiet diligence becomes a shield, protecting the sanctity of your progress and allowing you to flourish without distraction. Avoiding the comparison trap is also an act of liberation. You are freed to focus entirely on your purpose, on the steps that lead you forward, and on the evolution of your own potential. When you resist the temptation to announce, to boast, or to invite scrutiny before the time is right, you create space to fully inhabit your journey. You learn that the only measure that matters is the distance you have traveled from where you began, and the depth of your commitment to becoming the person you were meant to be. When you embrace the freedom of acting without comparing, you discover the joy of authentic progress. Your victories, no matter how small, are celebrated internally, and your milestones become markers of self-respect rather than social approval. In doing so, you rise above the noise of others' expectations, envy, and judgment. You move forward with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that the worth of their journey cannot be measured against another's. The path you carve is unique. The legacy you build is yours alone, and the peace that comes from honoring your own rhythm is priceless. In silence, in action, and in focus, You escape the trap of comparison and step fully into the brilliance of your own life. There is a certain power in mystery, a strength that comes not from announcing every detail, but from holding pieces of your life and purpose close to your heart. When you allow the world to see only what is necessary, when you reserve the depth of your vision for yourself, you create an aura that commands respect. People are drawn to what they cannot fully grasp, intrigued by the quiet confidence of someone whose life is guided by unseen forces, unseen effort, and unseen determination. Mystery is not deception. It is a protective shield that preserves the integrity of your journey. To live with mystery is to recognize that your life does not need constant explanation. Not every action, every decision, or every dream must be showcased for approval or understanding. There is dignity in restraint, in allowing the world to witness the results without being privy to every step. When your work and your presence carry an air of mystery, they become more powerful, more memorable, and more inspiring. People notice not just what you do, but the way you move through the world with quiet certainty, untouched by the need for recognition. Mystery also cultivates respect. When you reveal only what is essential, others are compelled to meet you on your terms, rather than imposing their own expectations upon you. They cannot belittle what they do not fully see, and they cannot diminish the value of what they cannot claim to understand. By holding parts of your life in private, you preserve the sacredness of your efforts and protect the beauty of your growth from those who might judge prematurely. There is a wisdom in this, for the world often misunderstands what it sees, but it cannot deny the weight of what it feels. A mysterious life is also a disciplined life. It requires patience, focus, and self-awareness to move with purpose without feeling compelled to announce your every move. Each action becomes deliberate, each choice intentional, and each word spoken carries the weight of necessity. This is the kind of strength that cannot be rushed or forced, for it is rooted in self-possession and a deep understanding of your own worth. When you live in this way, people are not distracted by your explanations. They are inspired by your example, and they feel the gravity of your presence without needing to know every detail. Mystery does not mean isolation, it means empowerment. It allows you to cultivate your life with intention and to rise in ways that are undeniable yet unobtrusive. When you allow the unseen work to accumulate, when you keep your dreams, struggles, and plans reserved until the right moment, you create a force that is respected without question. Strength through mystery teaches that not every story must be told, not every plan must be shared, and not every victory must be announced. The life you craft in quiet dignity speaks louder than words ever could, and the aura it creates draws admiration, reverence, and a profound sense of inevitability. In mystery, you become unshakable, untouchable, and unforgettable. There is a quiet courage that comes from trusting yourself, from believing in the vision that only you can see. The world will always have opinions, advice, and judgments ready, but the only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. When you honor your intuition, your instincts, and your inner voice, you anchor your life in a strength that cannot be shaken by the doubts or fears of others. Trusting yourself first is not arrogance. It is acknowledgement of your own worth and recognition of the responsibility you carry for your own destiny. To trust yourself is to listen deeply to the wisdom that resides within. It is to recognize that no one else can walk your path, feel your struggles, or celebrate your victories the way you do. There will always be voices insisting on their way, urging you to seek their approval or doubting your choices. Yet those voices are fleeting, while your own guidance endures. By turning inward, by honoring your instincts and your knowledge, you create a foundation of confidence that does not waver, a certainty that allows you to act without hesitation or apology. Trust is strengthened through action. It is not enough to believe quietly. You must also move, create, and demonstrate the faith you have in yourself. Every decision you make in alignment with your inner voice reinforces the trust you have nurtured. The results of these actions become your testimony, a living proof that your judgment is sound and your purpose is real. When you rely on yourself first, your life becomes a reflection of integrity and authenticity, and others naturally recognize the strength that comes from self-reliance. To trust yourself first is to embrace responsibility for your own happiness, success, and growth. You stop looking for constant reassurance from outside sources and stop measuring your worth by external approval. Instead, you hold yourself accountable, celebrate your milestones, and forgive your missteps. Every choice becomes an opportunity to strengthen your inner guidance, and every challenge becomes a lesson in trusting the process. When you cultivate this relationship with yourself, no external doubt can diminish your confidence. No criticism can destabilize your purpose, and no impatience can shake your resolve. The beauty of trusting yourself first is that it frees you to live without fear of judgment or comparison. You understand that validation is not given, it is earned through alignment with your own truth. Your actions become your voice, your accomplishments your proof, and your life the evidence of your unwavering belief in your own capacity. When you operate from this place of self-trust, you move with clarity, conviction, and a quiet power that inspires those around you without effort or explanation. In the end, it is not applause that sustains you, but the unshakable knowledge that you have honored yourself, and in doing so, you honor the life you are meant to lead. There comes a moment in life when words are no longer necessary, when the measure of your existence is not in what you say, but in what you do. The temptation to explain, to justify, to clarify every action can be overwhelming, yet true power lies in letting life itself become the message. Each step you take, each act of courage, each accomplishment carries a resonance far stronger than any explanation. When your impact is felt, there is no need to defend it. Your life speaks with authority, clarity, and undeniable truth. To prioritize impact over explanation is to embrace a kind of freedom rarely understood by those who rush to justify themselves. You no longer expend energy persuading others of your worth or explaining the depth of your intentions. Instead, you focus wholly on creating, on building, and on moving through the world with purpose. The results of your dedication, the influence of your actions, and the lives you touch become the testimony to your commitment. Words in this context are reserved for celebration, for reflection, and for acknowledgement, but they are never the substance of your legacy. Impact is cumulative, growing quietly through consistent effort, attention to detail, and integrity in every choice. When you act with intention, without the need for commentary, the effects ripple beyond your immediate perception. People notice more than you realize. They feel the consequences of your dedication, the weight of your perseverance, and the beauty of your resilience. They may not always understand the journey, but they recognize the results. In this way, life itself becomes a work of art, a message crafted in action, patience, and unwavering commitment. Choosing impact over explanation also cultivates respect. Those who seek to undermine, criticize, or misinterpret cannot touch the truth of what you create. Actions, once fully realized, exist independently of opinion. They carry an authenticity that no amount of argument can tarnish. To live in this way is to reject the constant need for validation, to rise above the chaos of judgment, and to allow your work to hold its own power. In silence and action, there is an authority that words alone could never convey. Finally, the choice to let impact overshadow explanation transforms your perspective on life. You begin to see that fulfillment is found not in the applause of others, but in the quiet knowledge that your presence, your work, and your influence have mattered. You recognize that a single life lived with purpose and intention can communicate volumes without a single sentence spoken. By prioritizing the consequences of your deeds over the narratives you construct around them, you leave a legacy that cannot be challenged, misinterpreted, or diminished. Your life becomes the message, your work the proof, and your influence the enduring testimony of a soul fully committed to its own purpose.